This is Watch Your Style. Today we're going to be discussing the watch market bubble and if it's about to burst. Okay, so there's no secret. Right now, the watch market is super inflated right now. I mean, it's pretty much just a little bit bubbly, we'll say. I wouldn't go ahead and say it's like the housing market bubble that there was in 2000 and the mid-2000s that ended up obviously bursting in 2008. But there is a little bit of an inflation going on there, and most of it has to do with supply and demand. So I don't really see it so much as a bubble that's about to burst and the watches are gonna be worth nothing. I mean, that's just speculation that's going on. I got comments on my videos. I got phone calls at the store. Everybody's always talking about, oh, it's a bubble, it's about to blow up. Yes and no. You know, I do think that there's some brands right now that the prices are a little bit inflated. But take, for example, Rolex. Rolex has never been a bubble since the beginning of time. I mean, there's people that purchased these vintage watches back in the 1960s. 50 years later, they're worth 15 times what the original retail was. Is that a bubble? It's not. What I do think is that right now, there's a high demand for some of these models and there's a limited supply. So they're a little bit high right now. That's the only thing that I feel. I don't feel that this bubble is gonna burst and you're gonna find ceramic date subs for $4,000. That's just honestly, I don't see that happening. I mean, take the Batman, for example. Can't even find it right now. Yesterday it was a $8,000 watch. Now it's at 11. They're about to discontinue it. It might be 13,000 like the Hulk. So I don't really see it so much as a bubble. I just kind of think right now the demand is high, there's not enough watches, so there's a bit of an increase. There could be a kick in the market where once the ADs and the brands start releasing watches, you know, they might kick down on the market another $1,500. But I don't see this explosion in the watch game that everybody's waiting for, that the watches are gonna be worth nothing. So then you got other brands, perhaps like Patek. You know, again, I don't see Patek as a bubble because they're just, you know, the demand for Patek is not gonna fall. The collectors of Patek are not gonna lose interest and they're not gonna overproduce, you know, like that other watch brand that starts with an H that just came out with 30,000 watches of each model in every single color, shape, and form. You see, that was a bubble and it already blew up. But Patek, I don't know, man. I just think that there's a lot of hype going on and people want the watches, you know. I think at the end of the day, it's what I keep saying. There might be a correction in the market. For Rolex, I see it being a couple grand. For Patek, maybe $5,000 to $6,000. But I don't see it just exploding and this bubble. I mean, everyone's telling me, I can't wait for these watches, for this bubble to blow up and these watches to be worth nothing. One brand that we might have to watch closely the next 4 to 5 years would be Mille. I mean, we just got to see what happens with that brand, you know? Because the prices of those watches are inflated 20, 30,000 at a time over retail. See, that's when we might have to look closely after. But as far as Rolex, Audemars, and Patek, I just don't see it happening. Take, for example, the Royal Oak and stainless steel. They're going for retail, pre-owned. I don't see that so overly inflated, you know? So maybe you don't want to wait 2 or 3 years to get one at retail and you want to pay a couple grand over. A couple grand over, maybe even 3,000 to 4,000 over, for me, doesn't justify a bubble theory in the watch market. So again, we're gonna watch this closely all together, but I don't think there's gonna be this massive explosion. Now, some of the rumors that I've been hearing, and actually they're facts, is that coming up now in Baselworld 2019, Rolex is gonna be releasing a new lineup for the Submariner. So pretty much the Submariner that we know today is gonna be discontinued. It's probably just gonna be a new movement, a couple little changes. So pretty much what's gonna change is the reference number. Does that mean that the previous model, the one that's currently available right now, is gonna skyrocket? Probably not. Like I said, it might correct in the market a couple thousand. That's about it. And I don't think that Rolex is either gonna just flood the market with these new subs. So it's just high in demand, man. The watch game has really picked up in the last 4 or 5 years, and people have gotten interest in this hobby, and they really wanna buy some nice stuff. You know, what else can I say? Now, there's also rumors that the Batman's gonna be discontinued. I mean, you never know with these guys, you know? The Hulk was supposed to be a watch that celebrated the anniversary of the brand, but yet they've made it for a ton of years. So I don't really know what's gonna happen with that. But I tell you what, if they do discontinue the Batman, that might be a mini bubble in itself, because people might want way too much money for those watches. Now, in the last 5 years, the only literal bubble that I have ever seen in this market has been with that brand that starts with an H. You see, that one did blow up, okay? They had something good going there. Their watches were in demand. I remember there was a time that you couldn't even get one of those popular models that they sold the most of at all. Prices were going through the roof. Nowadays, what are they worth? Nothing. I'm talking about $250,000 tourbillons I wouldn't even give 30 G's for. You see, that was a bubble within the watch market. As far as a whole, I don't see it. I think that right now, if you're buying a Patek, an AP, or a Rolex, and you're getting it at a decent price, even if it's market value, you know, even if you're paying $11,000 for this Batman, not that I agree with it, but that's the market price, I think you're safe, man. You know, it's not like you're buying, okay, how can I say, a waterfront property in the summer of 2007, you know? Those prices were really inflated. So things should be pretty stable. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens with the releases this year and what they do as far as production. You know, I mentioned in my previous video about being able to buy some of these watches at retail, that you gotta buy 3 or 4 other ones at an AD. I mean, look, there's nothing wrong with that. If you wanna have a good relation with your AD, and some people still want that experience, and obviously the watches gotta come from somewhere, so they're gonna have to come from these ADs. Nothing's wrong with that. They're gonna start shipping out some watches, and they're gonna be a little bit easier to get. You might maybe have to buy 2 watches instead of 3. So I don't see that as a long-term solution for buying your watches at retail and AD. I think eventually that's gonna turn around. In the end, if you're looking to buy watches as an investment purpose, then you really gotta be able to see around the bend and these surges in prices, because buying a watch today, let's just say in today's market, you can make a good buy and you can have a pretty solid piece at the right price. But in order to make an investment where the watch is gonna jump up, for example, 5 years ago, you would have picked up a Patek 5980 steel for $35,000. Today it's gonna be worth 70. I mean, right now it's not really the market for that. You know, right now it's more of a hobbyist market. Now, perhaps maybe you can buy one of those and hold it 25 years. It's like everything, man. This is a hobby first. I try to always show people and buy these watches with investment mind. Investment doesn't mean that I'm buying this as like to try to get a yearly return on it. I'm just trying to buy something where I have some fun, it's a hobby, and I don't lose my money, if you get what I'm saying. So keep this in mind, let's see what happens. We're gonna come back to this video when Baselworld comes around and we see the new releases from Rolex and see what really is gonna happen. So feel free to comment below how you feel about the current status of the watch market bubble. And don't forget to hit the notifications bell till it looks like this. And if you like this video, please like and share. Also, subscribe to our channel. My name is Eric. Watch your style.